already.
attack.
It did it out of like a survival instinct. But
regardless,
like,
the bear's not gonna SA me.
yeah, exactly.
Sure, I agree. The
exactly.
bear won't SA you. I agree.
Yes. So I'll pick the one that there's no chance of being SA.
And they're
But
doing
you
it
think
out of
the
instinct,
average-
not out of like an
But you
emotional.
think that the average man versus the average bear, like which one is more dangerous?
Again, the bear's got 0% chance it's gonna SA me, and it's cute.
And
So
Okay,
I'm
sure.
going
there have
bear.
been,
We
there-
can go with that.
There have
Go
been many men who have, encountered either a child or an animal in the wild and have, I don't know if I can say, GANG banged either the animal or the child, and like these have been
What?
recorded.
Wait, hold on.
Like there was a group of 8 men in India where they were recently caught
lizard.
with a lizard, and like bears don't do that.
So does one
Okay,
woman
so
in
just to be
India,
clear,
though?
we're going to. I agree that
It's a different
there
breed.
have been occurrences that are horrible. We're going to then attribute that to the general population of men.
No, it's just a survival instinct.
But you're pointing to some crazy thing that happened in India and saying, well, because of this, I'm going to have a generalized fear towards 50% of the population, which seems.
no.
Because animals will kill us out of survival for themselves and what they know biologically, but like men, like why
Here,
are they killing?
Give me a percentage. What's the percentage chance of a man
That I don't.
murdering you or harming you, like physically harming you, like torturing you, or SA?
I don't know exact numbers, but if you want to pull it
20%,
up,
30%, 40%.
I think it's 1 in
50%?
4 women have experienced some form of like SA. Also, there was one situation, I don't know, because it's not a bear. You can look it up too, where I don't know what country it was, but some like little girl, like underage, was taken by a bunch of men, and I don't know what happened, but she got out and a lion was protecting her, and you could look this up. But the lion was protecting her. You can look, yeah, you
Okay.
can.
So
Yeah.
what
That's
I'm
cool.
saying-
And there's plenty of like
Men
female high
protecting.
school teachers who abuse male children and
Oh, that
rape
Yeah,
too.
that's-
I
so
know
this
men that
idea
have,
that
yeah.
this is like some exclusive male thing, but I guess here's my question. If it is the case to pick, it's okay to pick the bear over the man because of either your own lived experiences or there's stats or whatever it is, would you have any objection to somebody picking a bear over a black person?
A bear black.
To those of you who picked bear, do you object if somebody picks a bear over a black person?
Well, yes, because why bring race into it?
Yeah.
Why bring gender into it?
That was the original question that was posed.
I know, but I'm just probing the logic. So if we change it and you pick bear over a black person, and are you a racist?
Is it a black woman?
Yeah,
Doesn't
black
matter.
women I'm
Nope,
fine
you
with.
don't get to pick.
Not the man.
If there's a chance that it's a man, I'm still going bear.
Same. If it's a woman, I don't give a shit.
Okay, so but it's black person.
If there's a chance that it's a man, then I'm picking
Can I
bear.
ask you this? Would you rather come across George Floyd or a bear in the forest?
Bear.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
is it George Floyd like today?
He's dead. He's dead.
I know. That's I'll encounter a corpse in the woods. I don't
Alive.
care.
No, alive.
Alive. I don't know him. I'll pick bear.
Oh, okay. So you're
that-
saying that even knowing who the individual is,
I don't know him like that.
well,
so
yeah,
bear.
but it's not a random man now. It's a specific man, a black man.
It's still a man I don't know, and I can't
Okay.
speak to anything about him. Bear.
But again, I'm asking though, would it be racist to pick the bear over a black person?
Not if you're still going with the mindset of like I don't want to see a man in the woods, which is still how I'm looking at it.
No. But here, let me ask you this. Let me change it like this. I know in your own determination, you're viewing it from, well, if it's still a man, like if there's a chance it's a man, sure. I'm saying, let's say somebody outside of you, whether it's a man or a woman, they say, I would rather encounter the bear, not because they're a man, not because they're a woman, doesn't matter, but because they're black.
Well, what would be their justification? Like, why would they say that?
Sure. I love this question. Perhaps because, say they cite to criminal statistics that would indicate something related to, you would agree that there's disparities in criminality between the races. Not inherently, but there is different representation of criminality.
I don't know.
Not inherently, but if you look at crime statistics, certain races are more represented in crime statistics.
I haven't looked at crime statistics by race, so I don't.
Okay, but
I don't know.
If I were to present that to you, would you?
Sure, but I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So me personally,
example,
no, I don't look at a
the
black person and
incidents-
get scared.
For example, you said you lived in Chicago.
I live in Philly.
But who lived in Chicago?
I did.
Oh, that was you. Okay. So, well, I don't even need to make this geographical. But for example, criminality is very low amongst Asian Americans as compared to, say, like black Americans.
Okay.
Right. Not because of anything inherent, but this is just how what the crime statistics show.
Okay.
Okay. So somebody was making a determination based off that. But then also, let's say a person had negative encounters in their own life, and perhaps their friends had negative encounters in their lives with a black person. And then they use this as pretext to have perhaps bigoted opinions towards that racial group. You guys would say that this is racist, right?
I don't think that saying you'd rather not see a man in the woods is bigoted.
No, this person in particular, when asked this question, they're not making it about gender. I know you view it that way, but they're saying, I don't want to encounter this person in the woods because they're black. And they cite
Because I think it's
That's
dangerous.
messed up.
they cite to saying, I had my own experiences had negative experiences with black people. You would then have to grant, if you're going to make that same argument, that if women have had negative experiences with men, and that gives them justification to pick a bear over a man, you would have to grant that same exemption to a white person saying, I would rather pick a bear over a black person solely on the basis, not about gender, on the basis of their race.
If the bad experience that you're referring to is SA, then I don't care if their qualifier is black or bald or short or whatever it is. I think that's valid. Fine. If you were SA'd by somebody, you can categorize whatever that triggers you, and you can be afraid of that. Fine.
Okay, but would it be racist?
No, not if they were SA'd and they're like, yeah, I'm terrified of this. And again, that would work for black or bald or whatever.
Okay, and so if somebody answered that here, that would be fine.
If they said, I was SA'd by this and now I have this phobia, whatever the qualifier was, I'd be like, all right, that's your phobia.
Okay,
I
what
get
if it was
it.
just like violence of some form, like they were attacked physically?
Would depend. Like if the attack maybe killed their family or something, I'd be like, all right.
No, they were just like, I don't know, they got a concussion or something.
Then I would say, all right, you need to go to therapy, work that out a little bit more. That's wild.
Why would that be wild?
It's a concussion. You shouldn't be afraid.
So just to be clear, but how about this? What if a woman, she's never been SA'd and she's just been punched by a random man and she got knocked out and got a concussion? Would that not be enough pretext for her to want to pick the bear over the man?
I'd still say she should go to therapy at that point and work that out.
So then
more.
you would object to her picking the.
If she thinks every man's going to punch her, she does need to go to therapy because not every man's going to punch her.
But that's what you guys
Right.
just said.
No, I said there's a 1 in 4 chance that a man is going to SA a woman in her lifetime.
Hold on. Okay. Now we're getting into some semi-dubious statistics. But
1 in 4 women are going to be SA'd in their lifetime.
okay, but I think we got to explore what that actually means. Because, for example, I've looked at the studies that these organizations put out, like RAIN, for example, and they actually include like where they're pulling these numbers out of their ass from. And I've looked at the studies, and they'll include things like let me ask you this: is catcalling sexual assault?
No.
Okay. What if I told you that in these studies, they categorize this under a sort of umbrella term called sexual violence, and they'll categorize that as SA. So they'll pull women and have you been catcalled? And they'll include that in their statistics.
I'm just curious. By catcalling, did they mean like somebody being aggressively catcalled
Hey,
or just
toots.
complimented?
Something like that.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Hey,
I would
sweet
disagree
tits,
with
I don't know.
that, but having worked very closely with RAIN, I am not privy to that study where they've ever referred to catcalling as sexual violence.
Yeah, it falls under this umbrella of sexual violence. I looked at the studies that they published.
The training that you get in RAIN does not say that. But
Well, yeah, they obviously, because it would be a counter narrative to the rhetoric that they're trying to put out there. Now, I think this sort of crime is absolutely terrible. I think if it has occurred, this person should face the maximum extent of the law. Perhaps even if they're like repeat offenders, I think the death penalty should be on the table.